Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormy B Man for this Saturday, August 27th, 2022. And this is the post-fight show for Pedraza versus Comey, which took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fight just finished up a few minutes ago. And we're here to talk about the main card and event. There were some undercards broadcast on an earlier broadcast on ESPN. Excuse me, with a series of young fighters. And quite naturally, we know that those bouts took place, but we're only featuring the main card for this evening on this show. So I just want to give you the heads up on that. But yeah, as we come in, smash the like button, please. I'm thankful and grateful for everybody that decided to come in and tune in for the post-fight show. This fight gave us an opportunity to see a couple of veteran fighters, both former world champions, compete for the right to move forward in consideration as future opponents for the world champion out there. Now, being that these are junior welterweights, there's a lot happening in the junior welterweight division with the people who are campaigning there. So there may be an opportunity for one of these men still, even though it clearly looked like there was a winner to me in this fight. And some of you may have difference of opinions on what we just saw. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a poll up here for you guys. Let's see. Do this the right way. Yeah. I just put a poll up there for you guys. I want to get your opinions on this fight to see who you think may have pulled this one out. This could be a little bit controversial, though I don't know why these judges and officials continue to want to create controversy when there really shouldn't be controversy. I'm going to go ahead and get started with acknowledging who's in the building. We have my man Big Homie Coop out there saying, salute Sifu, class is in session. Backsmack the like button, people. Salute to everybody that's in the chat, he's saying. William Old School saying, salute Stormy B, man. Here early, brother. Everyone smash the like button when entering the building. Yes, sir. Let's see who else we got out there. Sheena in the building with those channel emojis. I love it. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you, Sheena. She's saying everyone hit the like button before you enter. William says I had the volume down listening, OG, so I didn't hear the judges' names. Okay. Main Boxing Biker in the building saying, yo, what up, Stormy in chat? What's good with you? Big Homie Coop said that William, I had him winning also. His hands got heavy the last 3 rounds. Pedraza started to let his go, and that is how we got the draw. Main Boxing Biker feels that Comey threw the fight away. Let's see who else we got out there. Picasso in the building. What's good with you, Picasso? Dub Right Side is out there saying, salute Stormy B, man, in chat. Salute to you. Picasso saying, shout out to Stormy. ESPN was dick riding for Pedraza, but Comey Power had Pedraza at bay. I think it was a legit draw, says Main Boxing Biker. And Williams says, I picked Pedraza to win, but I didn't think he did enough to get the decision. And Big Homie Coop said, I missed the first 4 rounds. Well, very interesting, people, because I think this was a clear-cut victory for Pedraza, personally. And I only feel that way because Comey, after the head clash and the cut, seemed distracted and disinterested in engaging like he had been in the earlier rounds. So basically, I scored the rounds 7-3. Now, I know there could have been a swing round here or there, but I do not think that this was a draw by any means, and I don't think that Comey won the fight by any means. He had decisive rounds that he won, and anything after that, it could be a swing round or consideration for Pedraza, because Pedraza began to box and put his punches together in combination. Now, definitely, Comey had the heavier hands. And when you have heavy hands like he does, throwing in combination and making certain that you stay busy and active can lead to you having an easier time as far as consideration from the judges. That didn't take place. Comey actually took himself out of the fight. And if you heard Andre Rozier telling him in between rounds, I think it was after the 9th, he was like, why did you get that round away? Why did you get that round away? He was yelling at him. He was trying to, figure out what the devil was, Comey doing. And I was trying to figure out what the devil was Comey doing, because I'm like, at first, you were doing the things that you needed to do. But that head clash and the eye cut, it did something to the man. It affected him. And he's too veteran a fighter to have allowed that to affect him psychologically like that. I just didn't like what I saw. But you know what? They got a draw out of it, so both men live to fight another day. But from a technical aspect, Pedraza was busier. And you have to give him credit for being the busier fighter. I don't give Comey credit just for being in pursuit but not landing, or being in pursuit and not throwing. That's not the win all here. And Pedraza was hurt a couple of times early in the fight. I gave him the first round, but rounds 2 and 3 I gave to Comey easily, hands down. Rounds 4 and 5, I felt that Pedraza came back, and then round 6 was the last time that I saw Comey looking like he really wanted this. And after that, it seemed that Pedraza was pulling away. So, and I gave only the 9th round. I gave only the 6th round to Comey after that. That was it. And the rest of the way, I had it going for Pedraza. It was an ugly fight from the standpoint of if you were pulling for one guy, because they were matched well. I'll tell you something else. Pedraza switching to southpaw threw Comey off. You can't deny that. That was definitely something that put a wrench into Comey's plans, and he did not respond to that very well. Fighting out of the southpaw position, he was able to stay away from those bludgeoning shots that Comey was riddling him with in the 2nd and 3rd round. So kudos for Pedraza for making that type of adjustment. And what do I always say? The fighter who adjusts to the fighter that makes an adjustment is typically the one that can come out on top. So that means a 3rd adjustment has to be made in the fight, and Comey did not do that. The head clash, worrying about the cut, dabbing at it, slowing down, that took him out of the fight. It did. And Pedraza, who was also having a little bit of facial damage under his, I think it was under his left eye, he began to box a little bit more and was more solid and did what he needed to do enough to get benefit. PGH Big Dog in the building. What's good with you, PGH? And thought I saw somebody else come in here. Anthony Bolton in the building. Yeah. And Anthony Jones is asking, Pedraza won? No, it was a split decision draw. Split decision draw. But one of the judges had Comey winning outright, and Comey didn't win this fight, man. He did not win the fight. Not in my eyes. But you're well within, your right to feel how you feel. But, those are just my sentiments on that. So, come on, man. I'm trying to get I tell you, boy. I got all right. Just checking I just got an email here. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Let me go back to the chat here and check that poll out. Right now, only 9% thinks that Pedraza won. 39% had Comey winning. 52% has it as a draw. The one thing that you should bear in mind about draws, people, you should try your best to give decisive rounds when you're scoring a fight. And that's why I had Pedraza up, because the decisive rounds, I felt he had the majority of them. Even if he didn't win them 7-3 like I did, it could have been like, 8-4. I mean, not 8-4, but 6-4. But Comey didn't win the fight. I don't feel he won the fight. And that's kind of tough, because when you watch these fights, you want to see them be competitive. And this was a competitive fight. I believe that both men, being former world champions, there was a certain amount of respect that they had for the other. And I think that there was a certain amount of focus that they had where they didn't want to make too many mistakes or whatever. And that's kind of why the fight went the way it did. See how different it is when you have competitive fighters fighting one another, and on paper you really don't know who's going to win. And it showed here. Unlike what you saw in the two fights that were before this main event. The main event had to go on early because the two fights before were a first round knockout and a 2-round knockout. And again, matchmaking, putting guys in against people that don't belong in the ring with them and everything. And we almost saw a real tragic situation in the first fight of the evening. That right there, I don't know, man. I don't know. But whomever found that guy to fight Richard Torres Jr. in the first fight, Marco Antonio Canedo, that kid did not belong in the ring with the former Olympic silver medalist, 1 iota, heavyweights. He took so many shots flush that when he was knocked out, he fell face first, and the referee just looked at him laying on the canvas, electing to finally stop counting over him after he got to the count of like 4 or 5. It's like the guy was clearly not going to get up. And the ref didn't even turn him over off of his face where he possibly couldn't breathe or anything. And again, I've talked about this ad nauseum, man. the ringside doctors, everybody that came into the ring to, I don't know what they came in the ring to do, but the so-called assistants that they were giving Mr. Canedo, rubbing ice packs on his chest and everything. Where was the oxygen? The guy, his eyes were open, people. When they rolled him over off of his face, his eyes were fixed to the ceiling. He was unconscious with his eyes open. That's not a good sign at all. The brain activity may have stopped for a moment or whatever. You have to get him oxygen. Where were the oxygen tanks and the oxygen masks? Where were they? And you got 4 or 5 guys standing over him and everything, but nobody really doing anything. Rubbing ice on his chest. Then they had him walk out of the ring under his own power. In the UK, when they have situations like this, they have a stretcher ready and everything, and they carry the fighter out of the ring. They don't make him walk out under his own power because there was a situation where his synapses were shut off. You have to give him an opportunity to come around slowly. They were making him walk out under his own power. Then they took him to the hospital for observation. And he's supposed to fly back to Mexico tomorrow. And they updated saying that the doctor said that they will not let him take his flight out of Oklahoma tomorrow. They want to keep him in the hospital for observation. If it be that serious, they should have had that man on a stretcher with oxygen. Bob Arum, Top Rank, you're cheap. No ambulance on hand, no paramedics. You guys, this is going to turn tragic eventually. You're putting fighters in mismatches. There was no way that that young man deserved to be in there with Jose Torres. Richard Torres Jr. Forgive me for mispronouncing his name. Richard Torres Jr. That guy needs someone that's 2 classes above the guy he fought tonight. Yes, he got a knockout, but he got a knockout against somebody. He might as well have been fighting an armless person in there tonight. And you have to just say it like it is. I don't tune in to watch boxing to see someone get hurt or nearly killed in the ring like that when those type of things can be avoided, man. They could be avoided. And we have Picasso saying oxygen, yes, and circulation. Yeah. William says, I was scared for that young man. Man Boxing Biker says, no oxygen, no smelling salts. Then they had him sit up and his legs were still crossed for like 5 more minutes. Yeah, man. That's horrible. And think about if you're a person who knows him or is a loved one for him, right? If you happen to be someone that cares about this young man, you're fearing for his life and safety. If you're just a boxing fan, you may be concerned, is he really, really hurt or whatever. But he is definitely in trauma, and somebody should have done something outside of rubbing ice packs on his chest. Platboy Plays, salute to you. Windy City Assassin, salute. He says, Sensei, who's sanctioning this fight without ambulance? Hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I know they had no paramedics, nobody ready to take that young man out. And you got heavyweights fighting, man. That can happen in any round, especially with heavyweights. Big Homie Coop says, big facts. That ring maintenance was indicative of how low budget this was. Yeah, main boxing biker, you're right. He says that man's entire purse is going to his medical bills. Messed up. Yeah. And he's got to get in there again to make some more money. Did you hear them say on the broadcast that in his last outing he was knocked out in the 6th round? So he's been knocked out back to back. Not good. Not good, man. I talk about this so much. I hate talking about it. But I'm trying to draw the attention to it because that's what's important. Some people just enjoy the entertainment of watching people get beat up and stopped and things like that. But no, these are human beings. Human beings. Salute to TS Boxing. I see you out there. Windy City Assassin says, I thought he was going to choke on his own blood. His legs were crossed. I was scared for him. I prayed for the brother. The Village Brother says, you are completely. If the dude has cerebral or artery rupture due to the trauma, he could have gotten up like nothing wrong on to later tragically die by hemorrhage. Yeah, listen, man. When I say these things, I don't just try to say them and be dramatic. But right now, if the UK is not leading in boxing, they're leading in boxing care for fighters who suffer injury and trauma in the ring. At least they've got that on top. And professional fighters in the US should protest that they at least get on par with how the UK handles the circumstances of like what we saw this evening. Then in the second bout, before the main event, Big Baby Anderson stopped his opponent, Milijan Rakalovin, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce these guys with these silly letters and stuff in their names. Second round KO, where Anderson clocked this guy. The guy finally, after being brutalized for a round and a half, checked out flat on his back, and the ref is standing over him counting. What are you counting for? That guy is not going to get up. Wave the fight off. All these refs want to turn into Jack Reese all of a sudden. And because the guy that was in there with Big Baby didn't deserve to be in there either, Big Baby had something good on display, and that was a mean jab. Man, he was throwing a hellified jab. A lot of fire and heat on that jab. He was jabbing upstairs, downstairs. He threw some nice body shots. Big Baby took care of himself in there. He got hit with a shot that wobbled him too. I watched it. He didn't do the stanky leg, but he did that little look on his face like, and then he tried to focus his face like he's good. But I saw it. And that was in the first round. Yeah, Anthony Bolton. They made him walk down the steps of the ring. He should have been carried out of the ring on a stretcher, bro. You see how lazy these people are? What if he would have collapsed trying to walk down the stairs? Falling and hit his head. Now he's in a coma. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's ridiculous, bro. Totally ridiculous. These people are not very professional. Not very professional at all. And it's a shame. I feel shame watching it, man. I feel shame watching it. It's horrible. You know, I don't enjoy boxing that much that I just want to see someone savagely end up in a tragic situation due to negligence. I watched Gerald McClellan and Nigel Benn live when that fight happened years ago. And it was Gerald McClellan's last fight. And he's fortunate and blessed to be alive today, but he is in such a depleted state. He's blind, and I think they said he lost like 80 to 90% of his hearing. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. When City says, did you see the way he switched naturally and was able to be balanced and defensively sound? Yeah, Big Baby, he did some things in there that was good, but he was way outclassed over the guy he was in there with. He don't need to be fighting guys like that no more. It's time for him to get in there. I heard him say something about Philippe Hergovic and you know, yeah, those are the kind of guys you need to get in there with now. Because fighting the opposition like you did tonight, you're just going to be piling up knockouts and stoppages where you don't go beyond 3 rounds. And that you're not learning anything like that. All this sparring that he did with Tyson Fury and all of that kind of stuff, it's time to see him fight somebody. And I'm not saying it like, oh, he ain't fighting nobody, he's ducking. I'm not even trying to imply that. I'm just saying he's good enough to put him in there with people. He's good enough. Take the damn training wheels off and let him ride the bike, man. Main boxing biker is saying, did y'all forget the ring collapse when light ass Tiger Johnson jumped on the ropes? Cheap. I didn't see that part. I think I was on with Drew Titan when Drew was doing his stream because I got on there with him when that fight took place. You know, 6 months to sit out. You get suspended by athletic commission, but sometimes when you fight in different places, they'll approve you. That's how that kid Dooku Kim died when he fought Ray Mancini. He was knocked out just 2 or 3 weeks before the Mancini fight. And then he gets in there with Mancini and he takes a beating and he dies from trauma to the brain. That kid that fought tonight shouldn't fight again for at least another 9 or 10 months. If that, but you know he's got to make a living for his family, so he may be in the ring again. But I am so sorry to see what happened to him, and I only pray that he will be okay. Jay Camacho's Fight Den says, why not match Torres versus Anderson? Because Torres is even more green than Anderson is. Anderson is a little more advanced than Torres. But Torres, you know, he's got to fight more fighters that, you know, fighters that have more fights on their records, veteran guys. But he don't need to fight a guy that's so-called like got the same number of fights of him and stuff like that, because he is a former silver medalist. That means he has a good pedigree. And he needs more than just a layman in there. He needs somebody that's going to, you know, push him some rounds. These guys are scheduling these fights like for 6 rounds and 8 rounds, and they're taking somebody out in 1 round or 2 rounds. That ain't, you know, that's bad matchmaking, man. Put Anderson in there with Efe Ajagba. That's a good fight for him. Yeah. That's the kind of fight that'll be a good matchup for him. But no more of these soft touches, man. No more. And Torres, since he wants to try to go out there and do the Mike Tyson thing, he needs to fight more frequent. You getting guys out of there like that, fight again in another 4 to 6 weeks. Every time Top Rank have a card, be every other show, be on the card. That's how you do that. Now, I understand that Big Baby was laid off for a while because he had a hand injury or something like that. So, quite naturally, he's coming back from a long layoff. But he needs to get back in there and stay busy like he was before the injury. Big Homie Coop says, bad matchmaking to say the least. Yeah, I agree. Anthony Bolton says, Top Rank would like to build both Anderson and Torres for the future. Well, the thing about Torres is he's behind Anderson, man. He's not on par with Anderson. So that's probably not going to happen. Probably not gonna happen at all. But Torres, what's up with that curly perm, man? Dude looks like a dude from a 70s exploitation flick or something with that curly perm, huh? What is that all about? Windy City says, smash the like button. Main Boxer Backer says, fact Stormy, fast win, then fast comeback. Yeah. King Corleone says, yeah, I agree. He should get in there with Ajagba. Yeah, Big Baby and Ajagba, that's a good fight. Very good fight. Main Boxing Biker says, Torres looks like food 3 steps above. Man, Boxing Biker says Torres look like Lionel Richie. Hello? Is it me that you're looking for? Damn, curly perm, man. Look like he got, this is like a Mexican dude with a Jerry curl. Come on, man. William says, except for the hair, I think Torres looks like Lou Savarese, the old school heavyweight. Man. You know what? We'll find out about Torres when somebody hits him back. See, those guys that come out there and they jump on people and be getting them out of there all quick and everything, that's fine, but that don't work on everybody, man. You'll get away with that for a little while, then you're going to run out there on somebody that go, fat, get back in place, sucker. And then the fight begins. T9's boxing class in the building. Salute to you, man. Yeah. But Big Baby, man, that jab was looking mighty crispy, I'm telling you. That's the way you throw a jab. I mean, the way he was hitting that guy with that jab, that guy was like, man, let me lay down. I ain't taking no more of this. William says, I'm not talking about fighting style, Stormy. I'm talking about looks. Yeah, I know. That's what you were talking about. He looks like him, yeah. Main Boxing Biker says, facts. Wait till somebody slap Torres back. Then we gonna see what he made of. Do y'all remember in boxing history when Tommy Morrison was supposed to get a title shot against Lennox Lewis, who was the undisputed champ? So Morrison went out there against Michael Bent, and he tried to run out there on Michael Bent like he was running out there on people in the Rocky movie, right? Getting them on up out of there. Michael Bent was like, boop, 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 boop. Down goes Morrison in the first round. And then when he got up, Michael Bent got on him again, put him down second time. He got up, and Michael Bent put him down for the third time, and the fight was over. And they walked Tommy back to the corner. He put his arm around his man that was walking him back to the corner, like he said to him, "Thanks for saving my ass." It's always nice when you out there running and jumping on people, man. But when they fight back, yeah. Main Boxing Biker says, Stormy, I want to see a Big Baby take out the other Big Baby for the name. New York versus Ohio. Man, Ohio gonna have that one all the way down pat, man. That other Big Baby, he can't even get himself in shape. That dude is just I don't even know not even an enigma. He just don't want to do right, you know. Remember in the movie Life, they had that dude, that character that Bo King played, can't get right. That's Big Baby Miller, you know, from New York. Can't get right. We gonna keep talking about Lou Savarese, man. Ain't nobody thinking about Lou Savarese, man. Mike Tyson, when he beat up Lou Savarese, he was going for the referee, Lou Savarese, and anybody else that would have came in the ring. Mike Tyson was like a loose pit bull. You ever seen somebody have one of them vicious dogs and the damn dog get loose and he be going after everybody? People be scrambling to get the hell out of the way. Man, get that damn dog. Get that damn dog. And it's like the dog just, I'm going to bite all y'all asses. Mike Tyson's crazy ass. Going for everybody. Police, everybody. Swinging on everybody. That dude, when he lost it, biting Holyfield, he freaking lost it. I mean, it was like that was the last of the world-class that you ever saw. He just trying to break people's arms and stuff. Franz Botha said Mike Tyson was trying to break his arm in the clinch, man. Now, he ended up knocking out Franz Botha, who was outboxing him for like 5 or 6 rounds till he got caught. But in the clinches, Mike was trying to bend his arm the wrong way. It was like, man, Mike was just, he lost it, man. And the worst part about that is Mike didn't even have to do that foolishness, man. He could knock people out. He's a good fighter. But Mike was like, you know what? The lines of reality and fantasy with them drugs and stuff he was doing, they just got blurred. Mike was like freaking out, man. Everything was psychedelic. And Mike was like, you know what? I'm going for everybody. I broke my back. Spinal. Y'all remember him hitting Orlin Norris, man? He just was like serious. He was beating up cops and stuff. Mike was crazy. He was crazy, man. But y'all love that dude. Y'all love him more than you love yourselves, man. Now he's sitting up smoking that stuff and everything, really talking crazy, and y'all tune in every week. I'm like, man, I saw a freak show one time. I don't need to keep watching them, huh? He bit my favorite fighter on the ear, man. Holyfield said, I started to do a drop kick on him. Holyfield was over there praying in the corner, man. Mike bit him twice. Holyfield was, I don't know what prayer he was saying, but he was ready to whoop on Mike, and they had to end up disqualifying the dude. And when they disqualified him, he was swinging on the security in the ring and everything. He was crazy. That's that damn loose pit bull, I tell y'all. You gotta put them things down, man. You gotta put them down. Huh? Couple of people dropped off now because I was talking about Mike. Those were his people watching. Oh, main boxing biker, he bit Lennox on the thigh when they had the brawl at their press conference and they was all on the floor and everything. Mike bit Lennox on the thigh. Lennox said he felt some pain in his leg and he looked down because there was a whole bunch of people on top of him, and he pushed the guy's head back. It was Mike Tyson who was looking up looking up at Lennox and had his teeth sunk into Lennox's thigh like, arrgh. Pitbull. Man, that dude lost it, man. He lost it. He fell off the cliff and never made it back on. Never made it back on the cliff, man. Never made it back. He just was down in the valley after that. Huh? He was down low. See, I watched that guy. I watched his rise and his fall. It wasn't pretty. You know, it was like a tragic movie or something, man. But it was real life. And see, we didn't have social media then like we have now. If we had social media then, it would have been revealed way early on about the drugs and stuff he was doing. That was kind of kept under wraps because his close associates and everything wouldn't talk about it. And the media wouldn't talk about it, but they knew that boy was gone. Main Boxing Bike, I'm going to tell you something about the New York fighters, man. The very thing that makes them want to become fighters, they have to separate the street from the profession and keep the street out of the profession. You want to hone your craft and become the best that you can be, you can't take street cred into the ring. Yeah, it wasn't nothing to be proud of. And Trevor Berbick was every bit as bad as Mike, you know. His life ended tragically. He had a relative that killed him, you know. These guys are something else, man. Yeah, so I want to see Big Baby in there with somebody. Maybe the winner of Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. You know, that's a good fight for him. Hergovic, that's a good fight. Dubois, that's a good fight. But I like that jab that Big Baby has, man. I'm liking that. I love that jab. Man, he can beat a lot of people jabbing like that as long as he sticks to it. It's one thing to be doing it against the opposition like he faced tonight. And it's another thing to do it against, you know, quality opposition. So keep those same tools handy. You know, and he can accomplish a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things. Big homie Cooper, if you're expecting Big Baby Miller to get serious about boxing, I think that ship has sailed. He gonna come in how he comes in. If he was gonna get serious about that, he would have lost that weight before he had these couple of comeback fights that he had. So what's next for Pedraza and Comey? Those are two guys who could stand to face off against another fighter, but they'll probably fight someone lesser in their next fights to get a victory. Because the draw is not a victory for either guy unless they want to do it again. That might even be interesting if they'd be willing to rematch one another. Hey, it's a good fight. Yeah, man, Boxing Biker, you may be right on that, bro. Pedraza might be able to handle Teofimo. Experience. And Teofimo gives you shots. He gives you open shots at him. You can hit him. You know, you can hit him in the face. You can hit him, catch him clean. He can't get out of the way of right hands either. Let me check on this poll, see what y'all got. Okay, now Pedraza's at 26%. Comey's at 39%. A draw is at 35%. Hey, man. Pedraza should be higher for him. I'm just going to say that. Yeah, main Boxing Biker, he walked into that shot. He walked into that shot. As experienced a fighter as he was, he was not supposed to do that, and he gave T.O. everything. It was like a girl giving up her virginity or something. It's just to a dude that didn't deserve any time with her whatsoever. She just pulled her skirt up, and that's what Comey, he just let T.O. get it all. Yeah, I think he did land a haymaker, a hope to hell shot. You know, that's what it was. So coming up soon and quick is that Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, fellas. But I think next weekend we got Ortiz and Ruiz. Yeah, that's what's next week. I'm going to get ready to get on out of here, people. There's no need to keep you too late on this. And the fights were not that stellar, but an entertaining night of boxing. Yeah, I agree there, William. Great fights there. I really look forward to seeing both matches. I have Mayer over Bumgardner, and I have Shields over Marshall. That's my early thought and pick on that. Well, if you think that Andy got slapped up against Areola, main boxing biker, wait till he gets in there with King Kong. Just ask Prince Charles Martin, man. That dude got hit so hard, he looked out into the audience and saw himself sitting in the first row. He was like, damn, what I'm doing over there in the first row, G? He was sitting down. Yeah, Ortiz was like, get your ass back in the ring. Oh man, I can always laugh about that damn fight, man. It was so funny. I still can't figure out how he did that hocus pocus and got his arm twisted up in them ropes, man. I'm still trying to learn how to do that knot. I was looking at, what did he stick it in there and turn it like that? I don't know, man. But y'all know I stay on here any longer, I'm going to get silly about that stuff. So, but I appreciate everybody came out, man. Said we had 190 views on tonight's show, which is great, you know. A lot of people, a lot of traffic stepping in. And I appreciate everybody, man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we got the call-in show in the morning, man. And we catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. We gone.